Hey, welcome on in. It's time to paint. Are you ready? Because we got to paint. We haven't been here in a minute, so come join me. We are going to need your liquid white, a tiny bit of the crimson red, like a tiny bit because it goes a long ways. We're just going to be whiting out some stuff. So right here, like what I'm doing, okay, so we're going to start with the back building and work our way forward. We're going to do mostly the left side, and then we'll get to the right side. So just kind of follow along how we're going. Hang on one second. So we're going kind of just around where we had the windows before, okay? And then we'll put the windows back on, no worries. But yeah, we have some painting to finish, you guys. So let's get this going, shall we? I'm sorry that it's taken me so long, by the way. Just had a lot of stuff going on. So when we do a little bit more pink on the right building, I noticed something and I realized, and I'll show you in a little bit when we get to that side. Yeah, we're going to have to cut that green bank in half. And that's what was throwing me off. Like I knew something was wrong with that building and that whole area. But it's fine. Like painting is just about layers. We're layering now. We're about to get to perfection stage. We're getting it prepped for perfection stage. These buildings in the back are more white. And the reason why I want them tinted slightly pink is so they look dirty. We don't want them so busted white. Because they are old buildings. It's an old town. So we want them to be dingy looking, and the pink is going to do that. If you're using acrylic and not oils, you will be wetting down the white paint a lot. Okay, do it to your satisfaction. Obviously, get it to the consistency that feels right to you. You're the artist, okay? You are the artist over there. If you're new here, and you have not joined us before when we're painting, you're going to want to start from the beginning. So you're going to want to find the other ones when we started this we're painting Virginia City at the moment. But the point of painting is, and you don't have to have something bad happen to you. You can be a regular schmegular. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But the whole point of painting is to get us out of darkness when life just sucks. Let's just say it like that. When life just sucks, we come over here, we paint, we talk about whatever, we talk about traumas, and I want to shine the light on trauma. I'm a 3-time brain injury survivor. There was infidelity involved in one of them. There's just a lot, and I had to heal alone, and it really sucked. And I don't want others to heal alone. So the point of the art side of my Coach Janice Easy Fit is to get people out of the darkness, okay? It's a dark, lonely place a lot of times. And sometimes while we're healing, whether it's through a traumatic brain injury, whether it's through abuse, and you're the survivor of the trauma from that, or whether you're a war veteran, it doesn't really matter. What matters is pulling you out of the darkness, being that light at the end of the road of like, no, we can overcome this. And I think the biggest part for me, anyways, is that healing alone really sucks because no one around you understands. And you know, partly they get tired of hearing it. They don't want to pity you. You don't want to be pitied. And at the same time, you're still going through the things that they don't understand. And you can feel it in other people that are around you that they're annoyed. Like, why aren't you healed yet? Well, I don't freaking know. Everybody heals at their own pace, right? And I want to talk about things, which I started calling it, is it relatable? And it's kind of like a game, kind of not, but it's just more of like talking about some of the things that I've gone through physically, mentally, spiritually, all of those. And not to sit there and dwell on it and stay in the negative. I want to shine a light on it so that we come out of it, but we come out stronger in the end. And so we just talk about, is it relatable? And I'll talk about the things that I've gone through. Can you relate? what are the things that you've gone through or are experiencing currently, whatever stage you're at in your healing journey. And I want you to just be able to come here, talk about it if you feel you want to. I really encourage you to, because when we can talk about it, then it doesn't sit inside of us and eat away at us, because that's when the dark thoughts get darker and they get worse. And so the whole point is shining a light on it so we can see it, we can recognize it, but we don't have to be sad about it anymore. We don't have to be unforgiving to those that might have caused the harm, but we can come out of it in a different perspective, in a different light. And it's really hard to do that when you don't feel safe to do that. So my hope was to build a community where people can feel safe, they can tell their story, they can just talk about it. And so that being said, if anyone comments and they're talking about their story and someone reads their story and they feel the need to comment in a negative way, you're out of here. I'm booting you out. For real. Because we are struggling as it is and we don't need to be kicked further while we're already down. Do you understand? So you're absolutely welcome here. I hope that everyone does join, and welcome. You're all welcome. Everyone is. But negativity is not welcome. So, like the saying goes, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. You don't even have to be in part of the comments. Just hang out and paint. That's it. Because it's just, it's a part of it. Painting, right? Painting gives us a challenge and a distractant at the same time. And I'm not going to sit here and say to paint your feelings, because then you kind of stay stuck in the feelings, but I'm also not going to tell you not to. You do you, boo. Okay? You do you. But I just want to start a community of it. We're here, we're hanging out, we talk about random shizo. You can talk about random things. If maybe you didn't go through trauma, maybe you were around somebody that went through trauma, and maybe you have some insights for those who are around those who went through trauma but don't know how to respond, don't know how to continue helping them. Almost like they're at a breaking point, like I don't know how to keep helping them. I don't know why they're still sad. I don't know why they're not healed, blah, 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 right? And like I said before, everybody heals at their own pace. Everybody's healing is different, and that is perfectly okay. So maybe you're someone who is next to the person that needs the healing and they're going through stuff, and this can kind of shine a light on what we're going through, because maybe they don't have the words. Maybe they don't know how to explain what they're going through. Maybe they're scared to tell you the thoughts, because immediately when someone talks about sadness or grief or pain or hurt and they're not over it, a lot of people go, oh, you just need therapy. Maybe you're psycho. Maybe you have bipolar. Maybe, and they just want to label things. No, maybe I'm just hurt and I don't know what to do about it. Maybe I don't know how to crawl out of this hole by myself. Maybe I don't know how to express what I'm going through. Maybe painting is my way through. Do you understand? And that's why we paint. Okay? So, that being said, we should talk about, is it relatable? Okay? And remember, don't worry. If you don't have anything going on with you, you just want to hang out and paint, cool. You're welcome. You're welcome to be here. Trauma can be, like I said, in any form, right? Abuse survivors, brain injuries like me, maybe trauma from war, or injuries of some sort. We paint to take us out of our darkness. So, let's get into it, right? We want to normalize it so that we build strength rather than make us feel weak. And oftentimes we heal alone. No one understands, or some ways we feel like a burden to others. So we isolate. So if you know somebody who's isolating, shoot them over to my channel and say, hey, you should go paint with Coach Janice. Sometimes those dark thoughts are just our own thinking that we think we're a burden. And it is helpful to let us know that we're not. Obviously, if we're not. And what sucks the worst is we can feel so alone even if we have a big family. But a lot of times they have their own problems. And so we end up isolating more. I've become so comfortable in isolation that I actually don't like being around people anymore. I found that I can't really trust anybody. I can't even trust my own mom. Like, I can't trust anybody. So I have to literally just be by myself. But I cherished it. I now cherish my alone time so much to a point of like, you know those little commercials where it's like, hey, could you be on this island for 30 days without internet, without people? I'd be like, hell yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. Give me a bag of weed, but sign me up, right? I'll be fine. I'll thrive the whole way through. I'll probably create a bunch of stuff and leave a bunch of art behind. I'll probably like build some shit. Trust me, like I know how to entertain myself. I'm also a Gemini, so like I never have a problem with being alone because I talk to myself anyways and it's just fine. But it has been something that's gotten me really close to God. Me and God are tight, bro. Okay? Sis, bro, we're tight. And I highly recommend you establish that relationship with God and let him give you the answers that you need. Let him be your company. Because you can do so much growth and expansion just hanging out with God. So, I know in another one, okay, I believe we touched on flashbacks. I didn't mean to stutter that. Flashbacks. I mentioned what works for me, which was, and I still do this from time to time when it comes up, because it works great. But I get into a dark area, a closet, or anywhere similar with very little to no light. And then I turn on my Native American drum music. The beat of the drum for me, like it just reminds me of a heartbeat, right? And so I don't know if you can hear me thudding right here. It just does this to me. And honestly, it regulates my nervous system. It just calms all of my nerves down. And it just quiets the loudness in my brain. It just literally mutes it. It shuts it up. And like, I know I've said my opinion about why I think flashbacks exist. I think that they're there, especially when we are around people who are trying to keep a secret of the real truth that happened to you. And you can get caught up and lost in the flashbacks and go into a negative thing. Trust me, I know, because I went there and I was there for a while. And it felt like it was deep into my bones that I couldn't get over it. And I didn't know what to do. But then I started to realize that I don't have to be mad that people around me were lying. I don't even have to dwell on it. I can literally just give that to God and he can deal with it. And I can be over here and be like, okay, anytime I get a flashback, I'm going to put on my Native American music, the drum beats. I'm going to start grounding myself where I look around the room and I pick out colors. I say, okay, how many red things do I see right now? And I'm going to count all the red things. And then I might switch it to blue. How many blue things do I see? And then I'm going to count objects. Do I see owls? How many wooden owls do I see in this area? Or rocks? How many light bulbs are there right now? Where am I right now? Now, my trauma, my brain injuries happened in water. So I have to kind of pull myself out and be like, well, one of them happened in a sandrail, but the other two happened in water. And so I had to be like, I'm not drowning right now. I'm okay. I'm not in the water. I'm not drowning. I'm in my room. I'm sitting on my bed. I have my blanket. I'm going to feel my blanket. That's the next thing, is feel the things around you. Is it soft? Is it scratchy? How does it feel in my hand? So this is a lot of grounding work that we're going to do. It'll bring us out of the flashback, because sometimes the flashback, you feel like you're there as if it's happening right now. And sometimes at first, especially at first. So if you've gone through the trauma and you haven't like spoken about it, because you know that anytime you even bring it up in your thoughts, you automatically go there. For a long time, I would go there like it's happening right now. So the best thing to do is to come out of it is to look around you right now in this present moment. So when we name things, we feel things, we touch things, we count things, it pulls us back to right now, present time. We're no longer stuck in that area when we got injured. And these are the things that hurt for me, and I absolutely just at least try it and see how it goes for you. Try it at least 5 times before you decide that it's not working. And then another thing is to meditate. Meditating is awesome. Sometimes it's hard. Being a Gemini, I am the air sign, so my head's always talking again, right? So we're always talking. By the way, we're using a little bit of the, I forgot what the blue is called. It's kind of like a royal blue. And then we're using Payne's gray as well. Liquid, clear, so that it's nice and smooth. Okay, anyways, going back. So, sometimes, crap, now I forgot what I said. Hold on. Okay. So my brain's always chatty, right? So meditation at first is really hard. I could only last literally a minute and then brain would be like talking again. So that's okay. Give yourself that 1 minute. Take breaks throughout the day and go meditate 1 minute. And then do the thing where when we're in meditation and our thoughts start to talk, start imagining ripples, like ripples of water. Like you're dropping a pebble into still water, and you're going to give all those ripples a color. And each new ripple that happens gets its own color. And I want you to stay there and just watch the ripples. And you don't have to think about anything. I just want you to watch ripples. I know how that sounds. That sounded super weird because I'm here telling you to imagine. And then I said, don't think about it. Just imagine it. Don't think about it. Be the observer of your thoughts, not the talker of your thoughts. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's talk about, is it relatable? Okay, and I want to talk about experiencing the random bursts of physical pain and sensations you've never experienced before, physically and spiritually. And I'm going to tell you my experience. You let me know down below if it's relatable, if you have something similar and you want to share, please do. Please share. I'm literally scrubbing really hard, by the way. And then I'm going to kind of soften it up, but we just need this area. This is where the door is and it's super dark. We just need it scrubbed in there, and I'm not too worried. We're not perfection. We're prepping for perfection. It's no longer ugly, muddled like before, but we're prepping for perfection. And then we're going to start whitewashing this building that's in the front, just FYI. And I want you to super scrub. So basically with the whitewash, I barely have that tint of red. And then I'm using a lot of liquid white. And I'm scrubbing it. So you'll still be able to see those lines that are going across the building that are making like the slats. So it looks like it still has slats. You'll still see the lines popping through. So I'm actually scrubbing really hard. I'm just a light coat of the liquid white. All right, so back into it. So physically for me would be random stiffness of the whole body and extreme shaking. It was so bad one time. I was walking to the laundry room and all of a sudden I stiffed up. My back went straight and tight as a rod and my whole body spazzed out. But it was as if I was stuck. And I was coherent. It's not like I blacked out or anything. But I was stuck in this position and couldn't stop shaking. I had to have one of my kids pull my arm hard enough to move me, and then I can move again. Also, I had a hard time regulating my body temperature. And that still kind of happens to this day, but it's not as bad as it used to be. It was constant. It was every single night for literally a year and a half that this went on. I just, all my nerves were just gone, especially after the whiplashes. That one got me bad. Like, I ripped literally every muscle in my neck, my chest, and my upper shoulders. Like, I couldn't even move my arms to where like, if you were to put your hands raised up, this is going to be hard to explain. So imagine you put your arms to your sides and you're going to raise your hands up, but you can't get your fingers to move past your earlobes because your shoulders can't move any farther than that. Does that make sense? Like, that's how bad it was. So, anyways, so it just like really messed up all of my nerves, and I couldn't even regulate my body temperature, like I said. So, like, especially at bedtime, I call it freezing hot in here. I'm freezing hot in here. Like, I'm literally so cold that I can't stop shivering, and I've got tons of blankets on me because I'm so freaking cold, but I'm sweating to death. Like, I am drenched. I would wake up absolutely drenched from head to toe, but I'm absolutely freezing cold. It's like the weirdest thing ever. And even just having cold things touched me, I couldn't stand. It's not as bad today, but like in the wintertime, I am a little bit of a baby, and I have to have like my pants, sweatpants, like yoga pants, and then sweatpants, and then my snow pants, because it's just too cold. I can't deal. Like, the cold wind, it feels like pins and needles poking you all over. So that was the physical sensation. Spiritually, I went through a lot of weird spiritual stuff. This is also when I started questioning my own religion. I grew up Mormon. We were kind of off and on. My parents didn't really care that much about being super religious. My sister, however, was like, I don't want to be like anybody like you, so I'm going to be like the perfect Mormon because you aren't. Okay? She literally was that way. Sorry, Alicia, if you're hearing this. Yeah, interestingly too, I'm just going to point out real quick. I tend to have a little bit of a hick twang in my voice. Here and there, you'll hear it come out. And my sister, because she wanted to be so different from the rest of us. But it's on the Fawcett side. That's my maiden name. It's on the Fawcett side to have this bit of a hick twang. You can hear it sometimes in my dad. You can hear it in my uncle. You'll hear it in me sometimes. I actually don't stutter as much when I have it, which is interesting. But I've masked it so long for so many years of my life because I'm the youngest sister, right? And she's my older sister. And youngers, we just want to be like our older sister, right? We just look up to them. They're our role model. And I guess, too, this is like people pleaser in me, but she'd always comment and be like, you don't need to talk like that. And I was obsessed with horses, okay? So I look at myself like a cowgirl. So you have a little bit of a hick twang sometimes, right? And she would just be like, why do you talk like that? None of us talk like that. And you don't need to talk like that. So stop it. Just stop it. You talk like me. And then, here and there I would get made fun of at school too because I had the twang. But so I did a lot of masking. So now I stutter because I mask it. Anyways, kind of went on a tangent. So anyways, back to what I was saying. My parents weren't that religious, right? And here and there would go throughout pretty much my whole life. And I started really questioning religion. And I, to this day, am not religious. I am spiritual. Just being out in the earth, that is my church. God is everywhere. God is within us. I do read the Bible. My Bible, if you go to my tarot channel, we do read the scriptures there. but I'm not trying to read the Mormon section of it. I'm just reading only the Holy Bible because that's the one that I believe in the most. I do believe that a lot of religions, they're pretty similar. And I think that as long as you're just trying to seek God, you really just be where you feel at home in your heart. If you don't feel like a building is for you, then don't. Just keep that relationship with God, though, and just read your book, right? Read your book. It's good. And there's a lot of helpful things in there, especially when you're going through trauma. There's a lot of things in the scriptures that are actually relatable. You would be so surprised. So if you haven't at least opened it, or it's been a long time, just try to read a little bit at a time, and then just see how their stories are actually relatable to some of the things that you might be experiencing. Okay, so one of the really crazy things spiritually, other than that, trying to figure that out, I would get a lot of daydream visions, and they would come true, dude. Like, they would come true. Like, there was an incident with bears when we went hiking, or when we went to Mammoth. We were camping there, and I know I talked about this before. I'm pretty sure I did, in the documentaries. But there's these 3 bears that ended up coming. But so me and my kids were riding our bikes. We're waiting on my now ex and another friend to hurry up and finish what they were doing. And my eldest son, he was about 7 at the time. He was kind of far away from me, and we're in bear country over there. It's like mega bears over there. And I was like, hey, get back over here, Justin. You need to be over here where I can, make sure you're safe. Like, if there's bears, like, I can't save your ass. And then he was mad at me, so he was about to take off, and I grabbed him by the shoulder. I'm like, stop. And I got this vision of bears coming down the walk. Now, if you've ever been around horses, and when they're running, you can actually feel the ground vibrate, or like a herd of anything, you can feel the ground vibrate underneath you. Well, sure enough, 3 bears come running right around the corner. And in that moment, like, I was like, oh my gosh, we're by ourselves on this trail. There's no one else around. I literally look up to the sky and I was like, I really wish that I was not alone right now. Can, like, there just be other people right now and scare these bears off? I kid you not. I turned around and I was like, F this, I can't be bigger than the bears, because all the signs, they just tell you, just be bigger than the bear. I can't freaking be bigger than the bear. And we're all going to get eaten. There's 3 of them, and there's only 1 of me, and then I have small children with me. Like, what? So I turn around and I pick up my bike so that we can just jam the heck out of there, because we're about to just run and ride as fast as we can and pedal as fast as we can back to camp. And I ran into a group of women riding on their bike. There was like 12 of them. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God. Because what the hell was I going to do? We were going to be bear food, bro. So like visions like that come true all the time. So this one time, I'm tying Levi's shoe, and all of a sudden I randomly zone out and I saw a vision. To him, he kind of freaked out a little bit, and because I wasn't blinking, I just was like off. He said that I was just gone. Like, I looked like I was just gone. He had to like shake me back to reality. So the vision I had actually was of this man who I ended up drawing a sketch of. After I saw this, I was like, oh, I have to go draw this. I don't know what's going on. And I drew a couple of scenes. And one of the scenes I saw of him was that he looked like he was in the army. Like he was literally like in the army, as if he's like, when they stand in line and they're getting talked to by I don't know what you call him, like the general or the boss guy. And they're talking, and you have to be like, you can't like have eye contact. You're just like in that line, right? So I saw a vision of that. And then I saw another glimpse of him by a pool, and his arms were folded. He had sunglasses and a hat on. So I drew that. And there's like American flag on the hat. And then it switched to another scene of someone talking to him. And then he was like, hurrying out the door. Like he had just packed stuff. He was like mad. It was almost like he was angry, and he kind of like stormed out. Now this was someone that I think had a dog, like a service dog, because I kept seeing a shadow of a dog as if he forgot the dog. Well, he ended up taking off, and he was over in the woods somewhere, and everyone was looking for him. They couldn't find him. And at this point, he like kind of got lost and couldn't find his way back out. And the scene that I saw him see was that he was sitting on this log. There's this great big, like through the thicket of some trees, there's like a meadow, and you can see a river, and then you can see a mountain like far off. And there was a bear walking in the opposite direction of where he is, right? So he can see the back of the bear, and he just kind of it was almost like he was in awe of the scene, and whatever he was upset about, like he no longer was worried about, but he was wishing his dog was there. And I think that's why I seen the shadow. Well, after Levi had shook me up awake out of this daydream thing, it was like later that evening, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw this missing person report and pictures of this person that I drew. I drew him, and I started to freak out, and I told my now ex, about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I had this vision of this guy. Look, these are the sketches. He's like, holy crap, that really is that guy. But like he was already like found. They were just talking about how he was lost. They found him, whatever. And I was like, holy crap, that's so crazy. How did I see that? And I drew it. If I ever find that drawing, I don't know where it is, or if I have it in a journal now. It was so long ago. It was like 5 years ago. If I find it, I'll try to remember to post that for you guys, because it was crazy. But it was so freaking spot on, like every little thing of it. But yeah, like I get visions like that all the time, like all the time. There was another time we were hiking. This was on my birthday, with my now ex. So I want to say like 3 years ago this happened, maybe 4 years ago. We were hiking, and we took some shrooms. And he ended up getting kind of sick of them. Started throwing up, and I was starting to feel a little sick, and I hate throwing up. I hate it. So I was like, I'm going to just sit here and breathe in the wind. And it had a little breeze, and I learned how to transmute the sickness and like get it off of me. And I used the wind to do it. I don't even know how to explain how I did that. But it's like I like just envisioned all the ickiness and then blowing it out of my breath, and the wind taking it off of me the rest of the way. So I'm doing that, and then I get this vision of this mountain lion. And what was weird is it was like I could see what he was seeing, like this mountain lion, what the mountain lion was seeing, and it was seeing us, because I saw it see my orange hat specifically. And I was like, keep throwing up, keep making noise. There's the mountain lion behind us, and just keep making noise. It's starting to turn around. And I think that it could pick up that we ate something poisonous. So it was like, probably like, I'm not going to mess with that shit, because it did go away. And he did not believe me. My ex did not believe me. And we get down the hill. We go out of there. We get back. We're like, let's just go back. We should eat some lunch, because we packed something for a picnic. And so we're heading back to the truck, and it was posted near our truck. There's this post, and, on it was a flyer that was not there before when we got there, of a mountain lion spotted in the area, and to be aware. And I said, oh, look it, I told you there was one there. I could feel it. Holy crap. So then that's not it. Like, there's one more piece of this. Okay. So we get our picnic stuff, and we're about to go like find a spot to eat it at. And we see this like river thing, and then there's like a bridge, and underneath the bridge is actually this really cool platform rock that you could literally just hike to and then sit on. So we decided to do that, but in order to get there, We had to stand on this big boulder to see where we could find the trail to get to that spot. And you can still see the truck. It's like right in sight. And so he's about to get onto the boulder, and I grab him because I saw a vision of a snake coming out of a hole. And I was like, no, don't go over there. Hold on. There's going to be a black snake coming out of that hole. And he didn't believe me. And sure enough, this black snake comes slithering out of the hole from the boulder that he was about to get on. And I was like, see, I told you. He's like, what the fuck? How did you know that? I was like, I don't know. I just saw it happen. So he gets up on the boulder, and we find where we have to go. And then, yeah. So I get visions like that. I still do. I get them all the time. It's actually pretty cool. But there's just little things like that. So you see, like, yes, the trauma sucks. And some of the things that we go through that we feel like we can't explain, they're gifts. It's like a gift within that trauma, in that pain. And this is how we can get through. This is how little things like this, when they happen, just know that is, it's like a heightened intuition thing. And I do believe that this can come on because of traumatic injuries and things like that in our life. And so once we learn to get past the hurt, the pain, and the thoughts, the dark thoughts, once you can climb out of that, and I swear you need God for that the most, okay? For real. He will pull you out of there, and he will bless you with gifts similar to this, right? And then what you should do is just kind of hone in and think about, how can I make those gifts stronger? And this is called transmuting, okay? So even though we might go through some pain, we might go through like the hardest times. You ever hear the saying of, you're a diamond in the rough? It's like, how do diamonds even form in the first place? Under a lot of pressure, right? A lot of time, a lot of pain. Can you imagine the weight that a diamond has to feel to become a diamond? Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? And so when we get into our dark spot, I want you to remember these stories. I want you to remember this because you are a diamond in the rough. Okay, right now, it might feel horrible. It might feel exhausting. It might feel painful. It might feel lonely. Just know that God can do the best work on you in this time. And in isolation, you might feel so isolated and it sucks, but you can't have these changes if you have too many other people and their opinions clouding you. So this is why I've learned to love my isolation, because I can sit with me and not have other people's thoughts and opinions in my ears, which actually just bring on more anxiety and more pain and more hurt. And then you don't actually know how to trust your own self. Because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you need to trust you more than you trust other people. And you can't do that if you don't find you first. And you can't find you first if you're in a crowd full of people talking. Does that make sense? So I know firsthand how hard it is, how sucky it feels to be so alone on this type of healing journey. But I want you to embrace it. I want you to, think about this, right? And I say this, I think I've said it on this channel. I know I say it for sure on my tarot channel. You ever hear the story of the buffalo and the cow, right? The difference between a buffalo and a cow. When a storm comes, right? And the storm for us, trauma survivors, is the isolation. It's the storm within. It's the darkness that comes in, because storms, big, heavy, thunderous, lightning-esque storms can be so scary. so daunting, so dark that we don't see a way out of it, right? Well, a herd of cows will run away from the storm. And the storm might lift here and there along their journey, but it'll never dissipate. It'll never actually fully go away, right? And so they run away. And that's kind of a cowardly thing, to run away from the storm, because the storm will never leave you if you just run away from it. You have to go through it head on. And a buffalo knows that if they just go into the direction of the storm and feel the impact, just feel all the feelings, feel all the stuff, go through the darkness, go through all the things, they know that on the other side of that storm is peace. The storm's going to be crazy. It's going to be loud. It's going to be scary. It's going to be a lot of unknown. But this, just like the diamond in the rough theory, this is how we come out of it on the other side stronger, better, more at peace. We'll actually know what real peace is. You can't understand real peace if you don't allow yourself to feel the storm. Does that make sense? So learn how to be with yourself. Learn how to lean on God more than you lean on other people, so that you can lean on you. At the end of the day, it matters that you can stand alone. Just like what they say in the Bible. Stand firm in what you believe, even if you must stand alone. Because really, you're not alone. You're never alone. God is within you. He even says that in the scripture. I am that I am, and I am within you. He never said that he was outside of you and you have to go find him. He's already there within you. It's just, you have to see that light. You are the light. You are I am, because I am is within you. Do you understand? So try to be a buffalo amongst a herd of cows. Be different. Take that different route. Know that it is going to be hard. Know that you won't know all things, but with God, you can ask him, okay, show me what's next. What can I do now? And then just slowly work on yourself bit by bit. Who's the you that you want to be? This is kind of like, it's kind of like wiping a slate, right? And you get to start over. And sometimes we can't be the best version of us because we can't hear what that's supposed to be because too many people are around us talking. And so sometimes we have to be alone in our healing. So I don't want you to look at healing alone as sad anymore. I don't want you to look at healing alone as scary anymore. I want you to think of healing alone as your chance to be the you've always wanted to be. And you can't do that when other people are around you, because a lot of times they're just putting you down. A lot of times they don't understand you. A lot of times they have their own opinion and they think that you should do this instead of what you think you should do. And isn't that kind of silly to do your life the way someone else thinks you should do your life? Like, for real, sit with that idea for a second. And especially, why would you take advice from somebody that you don't want that same life they're living? Like, you can look at people and be like, yeah, I don't want that kind of life. But you're going to take advice from them? That's silly, bro. That's silly. You don't want to do that. Look, we're going to add some more red so that we can fix this brick over here. And this is where we're going to cut that building in half. I forgot that you couldn't see, and I do fix that. Sorry. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do, right? From now on, when we're healing, we're no longer going to see being alone as lonely. We're going to see it as, this is my chance to finally be the me I've always wanted to be. Okay? You promise me you're going to do that? You promise? You swear, you promise. Okay, I believe you. And for real, totally share your story. You deserve to be heard. Even if only one person, even if it's only me that hears it. Because, and in the words of Shrek, it's better out than in, I always say. I know he was talking about farts, but it's the same thing, Take a drink of my coffee here. Dude, I'm sorry, by the way, that this is coming out on Friday night. And because it's a 50-minute long video, it's probably going to take all night for it to decide to load perfectly for me. So you'll probably see this tomorrow, Saturday. I did actually film this on Wednesday. And then I was having a hard time getting peace and quiet in my house for me to be able to even do this. And right now it's the ex's weekend with the kids. So I actually finally have time to sit down and do this. I did write it down. So I was kind of reading a little bit off of that, except for that last little bit. I actually only had one story I was going to share with you, and it was the dude that I saw in the vision. I was literally only going to share that story, but I ended up sharing 4 more. You're welcome. I just needed to give you some more time, and then more examples, honestly. I like to give examples of my own life experience because that's the best ones to give. I've been there, done that. So even if I only helped one person, then I did my job. And if anything, maybe I helped you want to have a relationship with God yourself, right? Because honestly, God is the only one that's gotten me through all of the shit I've ever been with, ever gone through. And, if you go and watch my documentaries, they're pretty rough, bro. I'm not going to lie. A little cringe, a little bit rough. I tried not to cry in it. That didn't really work out. There's one point I'm filming it outside and I bent down to grab dirt because I didn't want you to see me cry. It's just embarrassing. But anyways, it's okay to cry. Let yourself cry. Don't hold tears in. It's actually clogging of the system, according to my Ayurvedic studies. So don't hold in farts. Don't hold in tears. It's not good for you. It doesn't help you. It makes it worse. So cry. Even if it's got to be an ugly cry in the shower, do it. Do it. And then get back up and do your day. Do your day the way you want to do it. Dance. Sing. Even if you're off key. Have fun. Every time you get into that dark space, jump around, dance. I have 2 left feet. Okay, I can't dance worth a crap. If someone wants to teach me, totally, I'll try. It's not going to look good at first, for sure. You're going to have to give me a year about that. But dance anyways. Be silly again. Every time we're going to try and rewire our brain. Every time we get that negative talking, that negative self-doubt, that negative, we're going to be like, oh, whoa, negative's here. Whoa. The opposite of negative is joy, right? The opposite of sad is joy. The opposite of anger is happy, right? So every time we get the negative piece, we're going to do the exact opposite. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you look goofy to other people. We don't care about other people's opinions, remember? We care about God's opinion. We care about our own opinion because we matter too. And we're just gonna be our silly, playful selves. We need to play again. Painting is a great way to express play. It is, in a way. It really is. So anyways, I will talk to you later, you guys. Thank you for being here. Peace.